When we say that God is the creator, is it the intelligence or the material behind the creation? If the whole world is made up of God, then are they identical? Is there a difference between the two? For interesting insights on temples, philosophy and literature, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon for reminders. Hello and Namaste. Having learnt about Athma and its identity with Brahman, we are now ready to answer the question, who is God? According to Vedanta, there is no difference between the three. Atma is Brahman, Brahman is God. We refer to God as Brahman, Atma or Eshwara based on the frame of reference. Just like I am a daughter from my parents' point of view, I am a wife from my husband's point of view, and I am a mother from my children's point of view. Similarly, there is only one consciousness principle which is called Atma from an individual point of view, God from the point of view of the created universe, and Brahman from the point of view of a higher order of reality. In the past two videos, we examined the nature of Brahman and Atma. Now let us examine the nature of Eshwara. Who is this God which all the religions of the world talk about? One thing which everyone agrees on is this, that God is the creator. To create anything, we need two entities, isn't it? First, we need the material or the substance from which it is created. And second, we need the intelligence and the skill to create it. Let us take a pot, for example. We need clay, which is the material cause, and we need the potter, who is the intelligent cause. When we say that God is the creator, which of these two are we referring to? Is it the intelligence or the material behind the creation? Gita proclaims that God is both the intelligent and the material cause of the universe. He created the universe from himself. That is why the dream analogy is such a good fit. Your entire dream exists in you. Similarly, the entire world exists in God. Hence, everything is God. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha, Arjuna proclaims after witnessing the Vishwaroopam. You pervade everything and hence you are everything. Vishwaroopam is nothing but the form of God as the entire universe. Let us examine this more deeply. If the whole world is made up of God, then are they identical? Is there a difference between the two? Matstani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha. All beings are in me, but I am not in them, Krishna says in the 9th chapter. What does he mean by this? Like the dream analogy, there is another famous analogy in Vedanta called the clay pot analogy, which is used to explain the relationship between God and the world. Let's come back to our pot again. All pots are made up of clay. What is the difference between the clay and pot? Can we say both are the same? All pots are after all made up of clay. Let us examine the relationship between them. The first relationship is called Ekam Anekam, one and many. There is only one substance which we call clay, from which we get multitudes of pots and pottery items. They come in all shapes and sizes and have many different applications. Regardless of the multiplicity of pots, the clay is only one. There are many created entities, only one cause. Similarly, there is only one God which gives rise to this multiplicity we call the universe. The second relationship is called Nityam Anityam, permanent and temporary. Pots will come and go, but clay is immortal. Before the pots, there was clay. While the pots exist, there is clay. And after the pots are gone, clay continues to exist. Clay is indestructible and permanent, and nothing that happens to the pots has any impact on the clay. Similarly, before the world existed, there was God. When the world exists, God exists as everything and in everything. After the universe disappears, God continues to exist. Jnatva bhutadim avyayam. Know me as the imperishable cause of all beings, Krishna tells Arjuna in the 9th chapter of the Gita. While the world is temporary, God is eternal and imperishable. The third relationship is a really subtle one. It is difficult to understand, but perhaps the most important relationship to know. It is because of this relationship we say God is truth. This relationship is called Satyam Mithya, truth and illusion. All pots are born out of clay, they exist in clay and resolve into clay. The only real thing is clay. Pot is just an illusion. Take a second to absorb this. When you look at a pot, what are you actually seeing? When you touch it, what are you actually touching? When you smell it, what are you actually smelling? You are actually seeing, touching and smelling the clay. Everything that is tangible and substantial about the pot is only clay. The temporary and ephemeral shape that the clay has assumed has distracted us so much that we have lost sight of the clay. Similarly, everything in this world is God. All things that we experience is God. God is the only truth, the only real thing that exists. Everything else is an illusion, a temporary sound and light show that we call the universe. Tvamaksharam sadasatat param yat. You are the cause and effect and the imperishable truth beyond both of them, Arjuna tells Krishna after witnessing his Vishwaroopam. From the point of view of the creation, this is God. This is what is called Vishwaroopam, the form of God as the whole universe. This is what is described in the ancient Vedic hymn Purusha Suktam. Sahasra Shirisha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat. This hymn imagines God as one cosmic being whose body is the whole universe. Throughout the 9th, 10th and 11th chapter, Krishna explains this form to Arjuna, which culminates in the 11th chapter, which is aptly titled Vishwarupa Darshanam, the view of God as the whole universe. I want to end with a Telugu poem which I learned from my father when I was a child. When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahalada, "Where exactly is this Narayana you keep harping about?" Prahalada replies, "Indu galadu anduledani sandegamu valadu chakri sarvopagattundu. Endendu vedaki chusina andande galadu dana vagraja kante." How can you say he's here and he's not there? How can there be any doubt about this? Chakri is all pervading. Wherever you look, you will see only him, he says. This was my first introduction to Vishwaroopam. So, if God is everything, what about all the horrible, terrible and evil things of the world? What about death, disease, famine, war and hunger? What about the Ravanas and the Hitlers of our world? How can all these things be God? We will examine these questions and other implications of Vishwaroopam in the next post. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. Please like and share it with your friends. Until next time, Namaste.